In a small town, there's a house on a hill that's said to be cursed. Some believe it's haunted, while others say it's something far worse. A group of teenagers decide to investigate, and what they find will chill you to the bone. This is the story of the old house on the hill.
The old house on the hill had always been a source of curiosity for the townsfolk. It was said that the house had been abandoned for years, ever since the disappearance of its owner, a wealthy businessman named William Sinclair. But there were whispers in town that the house was haunted, and that strange things had been seen there at night. Despite the rumors, a group of teenagers decided to explore the old house one night. They were dared by their friends, and eager to prove their bravery, they climbed up the hill and entered the front door of the house. As they walked through the dusty rooms, they felt a sense of unease. The air was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the sound of their footsteps on the creaking floorboards. The rooms were dimly lit by moonlight filtering through the dusty windows, casting long shadows on the walls. Suddenly, they heard a noise coming from upstairs. It was a faint sound, but it was unmistakably human. Heart racing, they made their way up the creaking staircase, each step feeling like it might give way beneath their feet. At the top of the stairs, they found themselves in a hallway with several doors. One of the doors was slightly ajar, and they could hear the sound of shuffling coming from inside. With trembling hands, they pushed the door open. The room was empty, but there was a strange smell in the air, like something rotten. Suddenly, they heard a low moaning sound, coming from beneath the floorboards. They looked down, and saw a trapdoor in the floor. With a sense of dread, they opened it up, revealing a narrow staircase leading down into darkness. They hesitated for a moment, but their curiosity got the better of them. One by one, they descended the staircase, the darkness swallowing them up as they went. At the bottom, they found themselves in a narrow tunnel, lined with damp, moldy walls. The air was thick with the smell of decay, and they could hear the sound of dripping water echoing through the darkness. They followed the tunnel for what seemed like hours, their only source of light a flickering flashlight. As they went deeper, the tunnel seemed to grow narrower, and the air grew colder and damper. Finally, they reached the end of the tunnel, and found themselves in a large chamber. In the center of the chamber stood a stone altar, and on the altar lay a figure wrapped in white cloth. As they approached the altar, they saw that the figure was not dead, but alive. It was a woman, her eyes wide with terror, her mouth taped shut. They tried to free her, but as they touched the white cloth, they felt a strange energy coursing through their bodies. Suddenly, they realized that they were not alone in the chamber. They turned around, and saw a figure standing in the shadows, watching them. It was William Sinclair, the former owner of the house. He was pale and gaunt, his eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. He spoke in a voice that was both cold and seductive, promising them power and riches beyond their wildest dreams. But as they looked into his eyes, they saw the truth. William Sinclair was not human, but a creature of darkness, a being that had been awakened from its slumber by the curiosity of the living. With a scream of terror, the teenagers fled the chamber, racing back up the narrow tunnel towards the surface. But as they climbed the stairs, they could feel the presence of William Sinclair following them, his cold breath on their necks. Finally, they burst through the trapdoor and stumbled into the moonlit hallway. They ran towards the front door, but as they reached it, they realized that it was locked. Panic set in as they frantically searched for a way out. The windows were boarded shut, and the walls seemed to close in on them. Just as they were about to give up hope, they noticed a small door in the corner of the room. It was hidden behind a dusty curtain, and they had missed it earlier in their haste. They hurried towards the door and pulled it open. To their relief, they found a flight of stairs that led to the outside. They burst through the door and ran down the hill, not stopping until they were safely back in the town. As they caught their breath, they looked back up at the house on the hill. It was quiet and still, as if nothing had happened. But they knew the truth. The house was cursed, and anyone who entered its doors was doomed to suffer the same fate as William Sinclair. From that day on, the teenagers never spoke of their terrifying experience. But they knew that they had been marked by the darkness, and that they would never be able to forget the horrors that they had witnessed in the old house on the hill. As for the house, it remained standing, a grim reminder of the evil that lurked within. Some say that on quiet nights, you can still hear the moans of the woman trapped in the chamber, and the cold, seductive voice of William Sinclair, beckoning the curious to enter its doors once more. But no one in the town dares to venture up the hill anymore, for they know that the old house is cursed, and that the darkness within will never rest until it has claimed every last soul that dares to cross its threshold.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did creating it. If you found it valuable or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on any future uploads. Your support means the world to me, and it motivates me to keep producing more high-quality content for you. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.